Hey guys, welcome back to SMB Designs. Today we are continuing on in the book of Enoch. I did want to point something out to you that I was on the phone with a friend and we were looking at the different books that were in this book that we're reading from, The Lost Books of the Bible, Great Rejected Texts by Joseph B. Lumpkin. And this is actually the first book of Enoch. There's even a second book of Enoch in here. So we're just working on the first book for right now, okay? So now that I got myself cleared up on that, we're going to pick up in chapter 91. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And with that, let's just jump in. And now, my son Methuselah, call to me all your brothers and gather together to me all the sons of your mother. For the word calls me, and the Spirit is poured out on me, that I may show you everything that shall befall you forever. And thereon Methuselah went and summoned to him all his brothers and assembled his relatives. And he spoke to all the children of righteousness and said, Hear, you sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and hearken, as you should, to the voice of my mouth. For I exhort you, and I say to you, beloved, love righteousness and walk in it, and draw near to righteousness without a double heart. And do not associate with those of a double heart, but walk in righteousness, my sons, and it shall guide you on good paths, and righteousness shall be your companion. There is a side set of verses here out of James chapter 1, verses 6 through 8. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Back in chapter 91, verse 5. For I know that violence must increase on the earth, and a great punishment will be executed on the earth. It shall be cut off from its roots, and its whole construct will be destroyed. And unrighteousness shall again be complete on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and of violence and sin shall prevail a second time. And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence in all kinds of deeds increase, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come from the heaven on all these. And the Holy Lord will come out with wrath and chastisement to execute judgment on earth. Side verse, I believe that's 2 Timothy 2:3. It could be Thessalonians though. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Back in chapter 91 at verse 8. In those days violence shall be cut off from its roots, and the roots of unrighteousness, together with deceit, and they shall be destroyed from under heaven. And all the idols of the heathen shall be abandoned, and the temples burned with fire. And they shall remove them from the whole earth. And the heathen shall be cast into the judgment of fire, and shall perish in wrath and in grievous judgment forever. And the righteous shall arise from their sleep, and wisdom shall arise and be given to them. And after that the roots of unrighteousness, and those who plan violence, and those who commit blasphemy shall be cut off, and the sinners shall be destroyed by the sword. And after this there will be another week, the 8th, that of righteousness, and a sword will be given to it, so that the righteous judgment may be executed on those who do wrong, and the sinners will be handed over into the hands of the righteous. And at its end they will acquire houses because of their righteousness, and a house will be built for the great King in glory forever. And after this, in the 9th week, the righteous judgment will be revealed to the whole world, and all the deeds of the impious will vanish from the whole earth. And the world will be written down for destruction, and all men will look to the path of uprightness. And after this, in the 10th week, in the 7th part, there will be an eternal judgment that will be executed on the watchers and the great eternal heaven that will spring from the midst of the angels. And the first heaven will vanish and pass away, and a new heaven will appear, and all the powers of heaven will shine forever, with light 7 times as bright. And after this there will be many weeks without number, forever, in goodness and in righteousness. And from then on sin will never again be mentioned. And now I tell you, my sons, and show you the paths of righteousness and the paths of violence. I will show them to you again, that you may know what will come to pass. And now hearken to me, my sons, and walk in the paths of righteousness, and walk not in the paths of violence. For all who walk in the paths of uprightness shall perish forever. Chapter 92. The book written by Enoch, praised of all men, and a judge of all the earth. For all my children who shall live on the earth, and for the future generations who shall observe righteousness and peace. Let not your spirit be troubled on account of the times, for the Holy and Great One has appointed days for all things. And the righteous one shall arise from sleep, and walk in the paths of righteousness, and all his path and conversation shall be in eternal goodness and grace. He will be gracious to the righteous and give him eternal righteousness, and he will give him power so that he shall be with goodness and righteousness, and he shall walk in eternal light. And sin shall perish in darkness forever, and shall no more be seen from that day forevermore. Chapter 93. Let's see. And after that Enoch both gave and began to recount from the books, and Enoch said, concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of righteousness, I will speak these things. I, Enoch, will declare to you, my sons, according to that which appeared to me in heavenly vision, and which I have known through the word of the holy angels, and have learned from heavenly tablets. And Enoch began to recount from the books, and said, I was born the 7th in the 1st week. Able judgment and righteousness still endured. And after me there shall arise in the 2nd week great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung up, and in it there shall be the first end. And in it a man shall be saved, and after it is ended, unrighteousness shall grow up, and a law shall be made for the sinners. And after that, in the 3rd week, at its close, a man shall be elected as the plant of righteous judgment, and his posterity shall become the plant of righteousness forevermore. And after that, in the 4th week, at its close, visions of the holy and righteous shall be seen, and a law for all generations, and an enclosure shall be made for them. And after that, in the 5th week, and its close, the house of glory and dominion shall be built forever. And after that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall godlessly forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burned with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. And after that, in the 7th week, shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its end shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness shall be chosen to receive 7-fold instruction concerning all his creation. For who is there of all the children of men that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? And who can think his thoughts? Who is there that can behold all the works of heaven? And how should there be one who could behold heaven, and who is there that could understand the things of heaven, and see a soul or a spirit, and could tell of it, or ascend and see all their ends, and thank them or do like them? And who is there of all men that could know what is the breadth and the length of the earth, and to whom has the measurement been shown of all of them? Or is there anyone who could discern the length of the heaven, and how great is its heights, and on what it is founded, and how great is the number of the stars, and where all the luminaries rest? Chapter 94. And now I say to you, my sons, love righteousness and walk in it, because the paths of righteousness are worthy of acceptation. But the paths of unrighteousness shall suddenly be destroyed and vanish. And to certain men of a generation shall the paths of violence and of death be revealed, and they shall hold themselves afar from them, and shall not follow them. And now I say to you, the righteous, walk not in the paths of wickedness, nor in the paths of death, and draw not near to them, lest you be destroyed. But seek and choose for yourselves righteousness and an elect life, and walk in the paths of peace, and you shall live and prosper. And hold my words in the thoughts of your hearts, and permit them not to be erased from your hearts. For I know that sinners will tempt men to evilly entreat wisdom. so that no place may be found for her, and temptation will increase. Woe to those who build unrighteousness and oppression and lay deceit as a foundation, for they shall be suddenly overthrown, and they shall have no peace. Woe to those who build their houses with sin, for from all their foundations shall they be overthrown, and by the sword shall they fall. And those who acquire gold and silver shall suddenly perish in the judgment. Woe to you, you rich, for you have trusted in your riches, and from your riches shall you depart, because you have not remembered the Most High in the days of your riches. You have committed blasphemy and unrighteousness, and have become ready for the day of slaughter, and the day of darkness, and the day of the great judgment. Thus I speak and tell you, he who hath created you will overthrow you, and for your fall there shall be no compassion, and your Creator will rejoice at your destruction. And your righteousness shall be a reproach to the sinners and the godless in those days. There is a side verse, James chapter 5, and it goes through to chapter 6. So I'll read that to you now. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. We will stop there and pick up in chapter 95 next week. I pray you have a blessed week, and if there's anything you'd like prayer for, please feel free to leave it in the comments below or to privately message me by email. That is in the description box below for you if you would like to choose that route. So once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.